Okay, so far on our program we've done our interface, and remember that we click this button to view the code. We have put in our variables, our top level global variables. We've added grand total as a decimal, and now we've gone through and added the code for our various list boxes and check boxes. And that's something I want to check through now. Siobhan will show you how to add line numbers, etc. if you want your screen to look the same as this. We've added our grand total, and we'll just go through what I asked you to do in the last video. So we talked about having our if statement for the Xbox and for the PS4, and how we overwrote that variable, console description and console price. Console description is a string type variable, so it only holds text, and console price holds the actual price because it's a variable of type decimal. We then moved on to our checkboxes, remembering that we can have them either checked, and if they're checked, we fill our fortnight variable with the text and our fortnight price with the price, and if it's unchecked, we clear them. I ask you then to go on to do the rest. So GTA should look something like this. You may have different prices, which is absolutely fine. I changed the prices a little bit from the last video. That's fine, it's up to you what prices you want. The thing to check is that if this is for GTA, check them for Minecraft, that you've got the correct check Minecraft and the correct variables, and so on. Counter-Strike, check that you're referencing Counter-Strike all the way through, and Call of Duty, check that you're referencing Call of Duty. Now when you run the program, it won't do anything at the moment, clearly, because we're just storing stuff in variables. The next thing we need to do is to start populating the list box, which is this box here when we click the add button. So what I want to do is I want the program, when I click Xbox and add, to add it to the list box, and then when I check Fortnite and GTA, it adds it to the list box. But if I uncheck it and move it and click add, the list box updates with a price, etc. So you need to double click on the add button, which takes us to the add procedure. Give yourself a little bit of space, and between the end sub and the end class, so you don't go deleting anything. On mine there it says naught references, don't worry about that, that's just the way I've got the line numbers set up. So first of all, let's give ourselves a little note. So I put clear out grand total variables, so if the user changes their mind, it does not contain the old values. So the first thing I need to do is reset my grand total variable. So grand total now equals 0. The reason I've done that is every time I click add, I want to reset that variable to 0, because later on in this code I'm going to be adding things depending on what the user has clicked on what all of these variables contain. So if we don't set that variable to 0 every time we click add, it will add things up incorrectly. The next thing I want to do, and remember to put your notes in, is as long as the variable contains something, I want us to carry on and do the adding. So I'm going to say if console description there it is, console description does not equal nothing, then hit N. Does not equal nothing, then and if. There you are. I've got an equal sign in there, I don't need that, sorry. So what we're saying here is as long as the console description has something in it, as long as that variable contains something, then do whatever we have here. That's not equal. That's really important. I'm going to say it again. As long as the console description variable has something in it, then do whatever we have here. If it's got nothing in it, do nothing. And that's why the not equals is very useful. The first thing we need to do is add up all of the prices that are stored in all of these price variables. Okay. To do that, you say grand total equals grand total plus console price and I'm going to do exactly the same, so I'm going to do a little bit of this copying and pasting and add everything together. What was our first one? It was Fortnite, wasn't it? Well, Fortnite price. And again, grand total equals grand total plus. So we've done the console price, we've done the Fortnite price. It's GTA. GTA price. Then the next one is, let's have a look, Minecraft. So Minecraft price. And the next one Counter-Strike, or Counter-Strike then Call of Duty. Counter-Strike price. And then Call of Duty price. So the important thing to remember, if you've changed any of your variable names, you need to make sure it adds up all of those relative variable names. What we're doing is our grand total variable is holding the price of whatever the console was. So that would be up here, 140, plus any of these have a price in there. It'll either be adding 21.99 or 0, it'll either be adding 15.99 or 0, and so on. So when the program runs, whatever we've checked here, when we click add, it's added the Xbox, whatever's stored in console price, or the PS4, and whatever is checked here. The checked ones, it will add whatever the price is, and the ones that are unchecked, it will just add 0. And that's giving us a grand total price of whatever we've purchased here. Then what we need to do is add it to the list box. So the next thing we need to do is clear the list box and then get it ready for anything we need to display. So lst total dot items dot clear. Now this command clears the contents of the list box. We just want to clear it so that if we change our mind, basically when we're running it, say we do Fortnite and GTA and we select that, it will display this in the list box, but if I uncheck GTA and click add again, it clears it and repopulates it. And what we're going to do now is populate the list box. So first thing I'm going to do is add a title. Remember to put your comments in. So lst total dot items dot add, and I want to add first of all the word console selected. Like so, with a full colon and 2 dashes. And that's just adding the word, so when I run the program and click add, I'll just check something here. It just says console selected. I'll use a capital S. That works. Then I want to add the actual console description. So lst dot items dot add, and all I've got to do is write in console description, that variable, and it will display whatever that variable contains. So if we now run the program, and click PS4, it says console selected, PS4 at 160. If I click that one and add, it changes it to Xbox. Now remember, the reason it just refreshes itself is because we're clearing it every time we click this add button. It's adding up the prices, clearing it, and redisplaying it. If we didn't have the clear button in, so if I stop this program, if I comment out the clear button and run the program again, did add and then PS4 and then Xbox, I'm not clearing the list box each time I click add, so it's repeating it and adding it to the list box. Whereas if we just clear it every time we click the button, because remember we're in the click event of the add button, now it totally rewrites itself each time, which looks a lot smoother. Okay, the next item we need to do is add the games selected. So LST total dot items dot add, and this time we want the game, and I'm going to put here actually game /s selected. And then we need to do a little bit more on our programming, but let's just run this and check this. So now if I check that PS4, it now says game selected, ready to go. So console PS4 and game selected. And with this we're going to need to do an if statement. So our first one was Fortnite. So we'll say if Fortnite, so we want the Fortnite variable does not equal nothing. So as long as there's something in the variable, then LST total dot items dot add Fortnite. Now you might want to move that end if there and that one there to give yourself a bit of a space. And as you can see, we're doing some pretty complex programming now. We've got a nested if, because we've got an if statement within another if statement. As long as the console description has got something in it, add all the prices up, clear the list box, display the title, display the console, and then as long as Fortnite has been checked, is there something in the variable, then display it. So let's see what we've got so far. So I can click on PS4, it shows it. If I check it, it adds Fortnite. If I uncheck it, it takes it away, because it only does that if statement if the Fortnite variable has something in there. You can see how useful the if not statement is there. And remember what we're saying there is if Fortnite does not equal nothing. In other words, as long as it has something in there. What I want you to do now is to do this for the other checkboxes. So your task now is to repeat this for 1, 2, 3, 4 more tasks. I think it should be fairly simple. The next one will be, and remember you're working on the variable Fortnite, so the next one would be, go to at the top, Fortnite, GTA, Minecraft, Call of Duty, Counter-Strike. Because we're saying if these string variables don't contain anything, add them because they've got something in there. That's your task for the rest of the session if you have time.